Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. I appreciate you being here. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us for that very first time, please subscribe. If you find the information beneficial today, please hit that like button. Consider becoming a member with us. Click that join button. And to learn more about me, learn more about my company, and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out those links below. Now, before we get started on our topic here today, I want to point out one of the links below, and that's our high impact digital marketing link. One of the things we want to do, we want to grow our business, take it to that next level, and one of the keys to that is getting more traffic, getting more business, in that front door. Check out that link, for ways to do that to really amplify your growth, here in the coming months. And so with that said, we want to get them closed, when they come in. We want to get them signed up. And so our topic for you today, it's asking for the gym membership sale. Okay? It's I think, one of the most difficult things for folks to do. And certainly new folks to do it, and even sometimes experienced folks won't do it. And when I talk about asking for the sale, I'm talking about asking the customer to buy. Get them, ask them to join. And all too often we think we ask them, but we don't. We'll say things like, well, what do you think? Well, how does that sound? Well, do you have any questions? And that's really not asking the customer, to get started. We want to have, as I talked about in some prior videos, we want to have what I refer to as decent boldness. Decent meaning we're friendly, we're courteous, we're respectful, but bold, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So we always want to ask. And the asking can be simple enough. So Mary, what do you say? Can we go ahead and get you started today? It can be that simple. Okay, Mary, joining really is a simple process. Shall we begin? Okay, so it can be simple in that sense. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple things here I want you to be thinking about on this. But in the bigger picture of sales process, and you can go back and research some videos here on the channel on sales process and how this should work. But on your sales process, let's talk about entitle, the greeting, the evaluation, which is your needs analysis, your tour, any kind of an analysis we do of the customer. But all of this tour and the greeting part of it, this is where the selling takes place. This is where we're building value. This is where we're showing the customer where we can solve problems. And this is where we're providing solutions. This is where the selling takes place. When we sit down with the customer and we show them prices, okay, this is where the closing takes place. Okay, and so what I mean there is the selling is over. Okay, the selling is over. We've done that on the tour. Build value, solve problems, provide solutions. When we sit down, now it's closing. And by definition, what that means is we need to ask the customer to buy. And so when you sit down and show your price program, just know what your job now is to ask the customer to buy. That's just the reality of it, okay? And what you don't want to do is, I call it, we don't want to go into retreat, okay? We don't want to go into retreat. If you go back to selling, you're going the wrong direction. We've already done that, hopefully, okay? So we're moving forward by asking the customer, to buy, okay? So important to remember there, because too often we either don't ask them to buy or we get into retreat, and it makes it more difficult. And it's not like we don't sign people up. You will. And it speaks to the greatness of the industry and the fact that people want to look better and feel better and live longer, and they want to come in and do this. But if you really want to maximize your opportunity, we want to learn to get comfortable, in a manner of speaking, of being uncomfortable, okay, asking for that sale. Now, I want to talk about just a little bit here on asking for the sale. One of the key things here that so many people miss, because all too often we almost get at odds. It's almost like we're trying to prove the customer wrong, okay? And we don't, because it's nearly impossible to gain agreement when you have disagreement, okay? It's nearly impossible to gain agreement when you have disagreement? Think about that for a second, because too often, what I hear and what I see salespeople do is we try to sell from a standpoint of disagreement. Oh, the customer's wrong. Okay, and so here's the big message I want to give you is learn to be agreeable. Learn to be agreeable. Okay, the customer says, well, gosh, that's a lot more money than I thought it was going to be. Don't start justifying price. Simply agree with her. Mary, I understand. Seems like everything costs more money these days. Okay, maybe touch on how you're going to solve the problem. And Mary, what do you say? Can we go ahead and get you started? I really, I think I'd like to talk to my spouse before I do anything. Mary, I understand. A lot of our members want to talk to their spouse before they get started. But Mary, can you imagine that gigantic smile they're going to have on their face when you let them know that you've made that commitment to lose that weight and get off medication? Mary, what do you say? Can we go ahead and get you started today? It really doesn't have to be much more than that. We'd be agreeable, but what am I doing here? My job at this point is to ask the customer to buy. It's not going to retreat mode and what I've already done on the tour. Okay, it's to ask the customer to buy. Practice doing this. Practice it. Practice it so that you're free to be yourself. Okay, and really, when we talk about asking for the gym membership sale, we can use this across the board. But it's really, in a lot of ways, the number one rule of selling is learn to be agreeable. Mary, I understand. I felt the same way when I saw that. Mary, I understand. We should be giving you better service than that. Mary, I understand. A lot of our members want to think about it before they get started. But Mary, since it sounds like it's something you're probably going to do anyway, Mary, may I suggest you go ahead and get started today? I mean, decent boldness. Decent boldness. Okay? We're friendly, we're courteous, we're respectful, but we have to ask for the sale. Now, I know I've shared these stories a lot through a lot of other videos, but when I first started at this, I was just the world's worst at it. Okay, and I would get in that sale, and to be able to ask for that sale was almost impossible. I'd get so nervous, my mouth would get so dry when I had to ask them to buy. Okay, but practice it. Practice it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. But practice it. Practice it in front of a mirror. Practice it in video. Practice it, being recorded so you can listen to it back. Okay? You want to know it that well. You want to know it so well that you're free to be yourself in this whole process. So, asking for the gym membership sale, learn to be agreeable. Doesn't mean you bought into what they're saying. You're just acknowledging it. I understand. Mary, a lot of our members feel the same way. So what do you say? Can we go ahead and get you started today? Just decent boldness. So folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. Appreciate you being here at the channel today. If you've not yet done so, please consider subscribing, consider hitting that like button, consider becoming a member, and to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out those links below. And we'll look forward to seeing you all on that next video.